the specialist of the strange. Meets the age of darkness. Eyes in the skies will sail upon the river and scout. And ponder the insanity that comes with their adventure. Welcome to the Bald and Bonkers.
Oh my god, sometimes I really wonder. I really do. Guys, we're back again. Wednesday has came again. In Dakota, no, I'm sorry, didn't get his hair transplant. We couldn't afford it.
I know, I'm so sorry. Oh.
I have to adjust my volume. Do you think the volume's awfully loud in this? But when it starts off, but then when you get back into it, it's not very loud. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I think that might be my fault with how I did the trailer. But, I got some time off from work, so I'll be able to make a nice new one.
Making yourself look handsome for the ladies in the chat there. See? That's what I have to do, Because who have we got? Look at those girls in the chat there. There's Drew's Paranormal Vlog. Everybody likes Drew. Everybody should subscribe to her channel because she's got a great channel, guys. And who's that? Dobby Sock. She's got a good channel too. Hey, Dobby.
Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby has clothes.
Harry Potter. And then we've got Paranormal World Investigators. Wow. That's a cool name, isn't it? That is a cool name. Who else have we got? Chess King.
69er.
Oh,
69.
You've got a channel. You've got a great channel too. You've got a great channel too. See, it's that night, guys. And so, Dakota, what have we got planned for tonight? What strange things for the darkness have you got?
Well, we have an interesting little topic here tonight. You've heard us talking about strange events. You've seen my K2 go off like there's a nuclear bomb nearby.
Cool.
So today's topic,
Tonight.
Chess King 69er, is a topic that likely will get a shot. How do we know this?
I'm sure because he's in the US, I'll be fine. I'm in Scotland.
How do we know this? Because it actually may have gotten a US president shot.
Yes.
And speaking of which, I remembered that next week is actually the anniversary of that assassination.
Is it really? What day was it he died? What day was it he died? Because I'm no old
November
enough to remember
22nd, 1963.
Wow.
And
see,
so,
a good
you
president
know how
was
messed up
took
my
out.
family is. That also happens to be my mother's birthday.
But guys, honestly, Dakota here's got some amazing information that he's dug up, and he told me about it before we went live, and wow,
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting. So guys, if you hear a loud bang and then he keels over, you'll know that he shouldn't have said those words.
Yeah.
What's that in the chat? What's that? Dakota seems like he's had beans.
Beans tonight. I don't know what it is. I am just in a mood today. If Nat happens to pop in, she can tell you.
Well, of course, that's right. We've got a trailer to play for Nat's book, haven't we?
Yep. We also do have some surprises at the end of the show.
Oh, yes,
so don't be a loser. Stick around and watch that.
Yes, exactly. And no, we can't afford yet to send Dakota to the moon because we're just a poor channel. We should start doing something. I see they're taking people up now into space. We should put a policy to send you to space.
I've been applying. Because I found out apparently my height is no longer an issue. I was so excited, but I didn't get that launch.
Okay, you could have been floating up there. You could have done a trailer of you floating in space. You know.
I was like, come on, if they were able to get a suit around William Shatner for him to go up, I think we'll be all right. But I don't know where
I bet he's got more in the bank than 5 million. I wonder how rich William Shatner actually is. Because let's face it, he's in everything. He's been in everything. I mean, seriously, he's been in everything. He was even sung. I mean, he bound to be loaded. He bound to be super rich.
Well,
mind you, his kids have probably spent it. I know it would.
Yeah. So, anyway, I noticed that we totally went off the rails there.
I know. Had to bring it up.
But we gotta live up. We gotta live up to Bald and Bonkers. You know, our hair's already gone, so we might as well stick with the Bonkers.
I've still got some left. I'm older than him, and I've still got more hair. It's strange that. Curiosity. When did your hair all fall out? Was it gradual, or did it just wake up one night?
It started when I was in middle school.
Wow.
About the 7th grade. Year 7, yeah.
Well, anyway, let's start talking about the old conspiracies.
Yes, you're bringing up my self-consciousness.
You'll see a big hand coming through there and strangling me.
Figure out how to choke you out all the way to...
I know. But anyway, because we've only got an hour here, so you might as well start off with this, because this is amazing stuff.
Oh, yes, there's a lot of information to come back here, and we are trying to keep the things under an hour. If we go over that, it's no big problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tonight, we figured that it might be a good idea to go into Project Blue Book. Now, what is that? That is actually one of many. It's one of the more popular ones, but it's one of many government research projects into the UFO phenomenon. And we have some interesting documents for you all. Hey, wait a minute, what's that? We can plant some watercress seeds on you guys and you can have green hair. Oh my gosh.
See, I used to grow watercress, by the way, and I'll tell you something new, it grows quick. Just showing my gardening skills there. When you go.
Oh, man, you probably have a better green thumb than I do.
Good too. Right, let's go with the people, the listeners, and the podcast side will be wondering what they're talking about. They've probably never seen us.
Oh yes, if you want to join the fun, be sure to catch the YouTube. There's probably a bit that we can show here that you wouldn't be able to see in the podcast.
Well, there's Chess King saying the Project Blue Book, which seems to be done to cover up the sightings, really, but no, there's actually some stuff which you'll learn shortly.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Now, for those who don't know, you probably heard this topic come up on, Ancient Aliens. Every UFO-based program has done some sort of work with Project Blue Book.
Yeah.
Let's see. Make sure I have my notes here. It started back in March 1952 and led up all the way until December 17th, 1969. A lot of the research, its main headquarters was actually done at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base,
right.
which is believed to be housing 8 actual...
That's right.
things.
Yes.
And there's a store... In fact, I believe that... I remember there was a guest we were supposed to have on. We used the episode to roast her a little bit, but... Well, there was a guest we happened to have on who has done a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
Her name's Asher's Hill. For those of you, honestly, we gotta give her a shout out because I do know that. Channel. Yeah, and she is actually working on a Mothman documentary that has open submissions, by the way. So
that sounds amazing.
Go look her up.
There you go.
Yes, I just wanted to toss that.
No,
in there. She's making me.
She's got an amazing podcast that she does. She does an amazing podcast because I listen to it every Wednesday.
You know, she's not right in the head, but that woman
Yeah.
knows her stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring her up real quick because I do know that a couple of times we've sat down and chat with her. She's mentioned that there's been a lot of unusual activity out of Wright-Patterson because she does happen to live in that area not too long ago. As in, all of a sudden, alarms going off. There's been people, she's had insider information of what people would claim was intense hauntings, but people on the inside are saying, no, that's their technology at work.
Yes.
There, like I said, there is so much to this that we could probably do a whole series on it.
It's fascinating. I mean, I'll talk about some of the Project Blue Book stuff in a wee while after you have told us about those files that you found on the Presidente.
Well, yes. There's a couple bits here. One of the big parts about Project Blue Book is that it is highly speculated in many different circles that it was a huge contributor to the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yes.
As well as Marilyn Monroe.
That's right.
I'm going to post a link in the chat here for everyone at home to read. It's from the FBI vault. There's no hacking involved. This is publicly available information that details Project Blue Book.
It's fascinating. I mean, I watched a program the other night on TV, and it was about Marilyn Monroe. And the word in the street was, this is obviously what the mainstream media is talking about, that she was having an affair with the president, right? And there's actually proof out there, she phoned the White House and says, listen, she says, if I don't get such and such, because I'm leaving them, I'm going to tell the truth about the UFOs. I'm going to tell the truth about, because obviously the president's told her. The next day, she was found dead. Don't you find that a bit suspicious?
Not really when you actually sit down and think about it.
No, that's very
She
true.
was not an ugly woman, and as any woman can testify, pillow talk can really make a man sing.
No.
So, not enough blood was obviously going to the head upstairs
Yes.
for Mr. John F. Kennedy to really think about, oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that.
See, but that's the thing. See the presidents today, like Kate, the ones after him, right? I don't think they actually know the truth, and that's my honest opinion. I don't think they know what is going on. George Bush, Obama, all of them, they know something's going on, but they're no high enough. They're no high level enough, even though they're the commander in chief. They're no high level enough.
That's the thing. Not a lot of people realize. And this is a point I've said several times, that the people we're trying to yell at as a society, the people we're trying to yell at, senators, politicians, Congress, president, they're just as clueless as the rest of us. Now, Obama has, speaking of President Obama, he has fully admitted that the first thing he did when elected, because Obama's a huge nerd like that.
That's right.
Would start asking about UFOs. Now, mind you, it doesn't take a lot for people to come out and say, if you wanted to know Obama's favorite superhero, it's Spider-Man, by the way.
And there's an interesting comment. Even though both our internets are super fast, right, and we're no lagging whatsoever, people are experiencing lagging in this. I wonder why. It'll be uploaded anyway for the government's listen. It's getting uploaded on our podcast. Check it out there. And Spotify. But I had to throw that into.
On Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes,
right.
Google Play.
See the document that you posted in there. Why don't you read it out to them? did to me.
Well, it's
Because it's dished it out to them. Because I think
that's-
they'll find it fascinating.
like I said, it's a PDF document. Anybody can access it. It's about 13 pages long.
It's actually shocking what he was going to say. He was actually going to do this speech before.
Well, this is not that document.
Right. So it's obviously
The one I said in the chat is a different one.
right. So why don't you tell us about the first document and then tell us about the second document?
Essentially, now, remember this, guys. How there is a lot of focus on UFOs potentially being some sort of threat in recent media, right?
Yeah.
Where they're all worried about the UFOs and the weird triangles showing up around the naval ship and all this. Now, mind you, there are tensions perhaps higher than ever right now going on between China, Russia.
Yep.
Everybody's got ships pointed at opposing countries just far enough for them to still be legally considered international waters.
Yeah.
But still, like I pointed out in previous shows, it only takes about 3 seconds. We would only, if a missile goes to launch, if China's not bluffing, we would only have about 3 seconds to try to evacuate the most populated regions of the world.
But the governments know this, and so in theory they just would not tell anyone. There'd be no point.
Look, honestly, can you really trust anybody right now? You see all these people bitching at each other on Twitter over stupid stuff, constantly twisting words.
I know.
They wonder why the governments are disclosing us. Yes, there is legitimate concern that we cannot handle the truth.
I don't think we can handle it now. Some of us can handle it, but I don't. The way things are, I think it would be a bad idea to release UFO right now. Maybe in 20 years it'd be okay, but not now. Because I think the world can't handle it.
Well, this reminds me of a conversation I had not too long ago, where I had to remind this individual to say, "Oh, you should have told this person. Oh, you should have told this person more about what you were talking about." Because I was working on a UFO consult because there was someone who was experiencing activity who didn't have a lot of people to talk to, and he was spooked, and he just wanted somebody that would hear him out.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, his area is actually the focus of a lot of the bad aliens who are not afraid to sell him off or eat him. I'm not kidding.
So there you go.
So
why don't you tell us? Please tell us about that document you read it to me before the show, the one about the president.
This is page 3 of the document for Project Blue Book that's on the FBI website. And this is the first few paragraphs here. On December 17th, 1969, the Secretary of the Air Force announced the termination of Project Blue Book, the Air Force program for the investigation of UFOs. The decision to discontinue UFO investigations was based on an evaluation of a report prepared by the University of Colorado entitled Scientific Study of Unidentified Flying Objects, a review of the University of Colorado's report by the National Academy of Scientists, past UFO studies, and Air Force experience investigating UFO reports during the past 2 decades. As a result of these investigations and studies and experience gained from investigating UFO reports since 1948, the conclusions of Project Blue Book are: 1. No UFO reported, investigated, and evaluated by the Air Force has ever given any indication of threat to our national security. 2. There has been no evidence submitted to or discovered by the Air Force that these sightings categorized unidentified represent technological developments or principles beyond the range of present-day scientific knowledge. And 3, that there has been no evidence indicating that sightings categorized as identified are extraterrestrial vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you tell them the one about the president's speech? That's just been that's just been found, guys. Now, I mean, you need to hear this, guys. This is the president's speech that was read by the president, right? Now, that's been stashed away, and now it's just coming to light.
All right.
We need to hear this one.
Now, for a little background story.
Yep.
One of the major things that surrounded a lot of the JFK conspiracies was that just before he was shot, Kennedy came out and admitted that there are secret societies truly running the government.
Yes.
And he was trying to bring them to light, to shut it down.
Yeah.
Now, there are a number of here, in fact, you know what? Here is a transcript of that very speech. For those in the podcast, we're posting this to the chat in the YouTube channel, just for clarification.
Yeah, but you'll read it out for the podcast side, just so as they know what it says. Some of it you'll need to come and give us a subscribe.
All right, yes. So here's a lot of the section that a lot of people bring up. This is about 6 minutes into Kennedy's speech.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes as this. I refer to, first, to the need for far greater public information, and second, to the need for far greater official secrecy. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we as a people inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there's little value in opposing the threat, right? Opposing the threat of a closed society by intimidating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there's little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if traditions do not survive with it. And there is a very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that's in my control, and no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the U.S. has actually been found to, how should I put this? Has been found guilty of committing several crimes against human rights.
That's right.
In international courts.
That's
I believe it's up to 32 incidents now.
That's right. It's shocking. Hey, that's in the chat. It's shocking what's going on right now. It just shows you who's really in charge, guys. The President of the United States that's in charge right now, he's not running the country. It's someone else. And this is what people need to realise. The Prime Minister of Great Britain is not in charge. It's the same all over the world. It's one body. It's a black government, whoever they are. And it's only an elite few, maybe 4 or 5 of them, that run the entire planet. That's it.
Heard this speech before, also heard him say, actually, I believe that was Ronald Reagan that said that one.
Yes, it was, I think. I mean, the one that you told me tonight, the one where Kennedy was telling them that we're no longer alone. When you got to tell them that, because guys,
I was leaving to it.
You're just getting up to this, guys. I mean, it's shocking, right? I did. On you go, Dakota. On you go.
All right, I'm going to bring up this. Now, this information actually came out in 2013 to correct what Chris said earlier.
Yep.
I'm going to post the article to it. There were actually sources close to Kennedy who stated that the day he was shot, he was getting ready to disclose that we are not alone in the universe.
Yep.
And we actually have a few notes from that very speech right here. Well, that speech that never happened.
Well, what happened? Yeah, obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah, he had a killer headache.
Oh, he definitely did. Definitely did.
And as far as the Kennedy assassination, that's a whole nother show in itself.
Yeah.
Speech as goes. My fellow Americans, people of the world, today we set forth on a journey into a new era. One age, the childhood of mankind, is ending, and another age is about to begin. The journey of which I speak is full of unknowable challenges, but I believe that all of our yesterdays, all the struggles of the past, have uniquely prepared our generation to prevail. Citizens of this earth, we are not alone. God, in his infinite wisdom, has seen fit to populate his universe with other beings, intelligent creatures such as ourselves. Can I state this with such authority? In the year 1947, our military forces recovered from the dry New Mexico desert the remains of an aircraft of unknown origin. Science soon determined that this vehicle came from the far reaches of outer space. Since that time, our government has made contact with the creators of that spacecraft. Though this news may sound fantastic and indeed terrifying, I ask you not to greet it with undue fear and pessimism. I assure you, as your president, that these beings mean us no harm.
Yeah.
Rather, they promise to help our nation overcome the enemies of all mankind: tyranny, poverty, disease, war. We have determined they are not foes, but friends. Together with them, we can create a better world. I cannot tell you that there will be no stumbling or missteps on the road ahead, but I believe we found the true destiny of the people of this great land to lead the world into a glorious future. In the coming days, weeks, and months, you will learn more about these visitors, why they are here, and why our leaders kept their presence a secret from you for so long. I ask you to look to the future, not with timidity, but with courage, because we can achieve in our time the ancient vision of peace on earth and prosperity for all mankind.
Yeah. And can you imagine if the president lived, what it would be like today? No war. We'd probably be travelling the solar system now. Instead, we're stuck on this rock, buying oil and destroying the planet. Mm-hmm. And that, guys, this is true. It's in that document that Dakota shared. Please go to that document and share it with everybody you know, because download it and share it.
Mm-hmm.
The truth's already out. It's only a matter of time, guys, before we see it. I would say, what, a couple of years before it's totally out, completely, before it's completely out.
At most.
Yeah. They can't hold it on anymore. They can't. There's too many people, and even in the United States government, wanting to release this now. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen in the next couple of years. But know this, if that president had never been shot, we would probably have clean energy. We would probably have no wars. We would probably have no nuclear weapons. The alien races would probably cure cancers and God knows what. But these elite few that didn't want that information out assassinated that president for this. Sole purpose, money, power, gold.
And Chess King makes another good point.
What?
Is that a lot of these documents do have a lot of information scribbled out, and that is true. The Proceedings for Freedom of Information Act, which is a lot of these documents were actually released under, they must evaluate whether or not, and this is their official explanation, whether or not releasing these documents would still be a matter of national security. And like I said before, the United States has actually been found under several circumstances to have committed acts against humanity
Yes.
of what would be considered war crimes,
Yes.
but never been able to fully prosecute under international law.
It's interesting you bring that subject up, because let me mention something here. They've always had this thing where they say they're going to fake an alien invasion, right? To fake an alien invasion, guys, you need to kill a lot of people. Are they willing to do that? Are they willing to blow up a couple of cities? Are they willing to do that? Well, look at John F. Kennedy. They were willing to do that. This is the thing, guys. TV right now. Every alien thing in TV right now, every one of the aliens in TV right now, they're all bad. Every one of them is bad. They're all out to get us, they're all out to eat us, they're all out to destroy the planet. That's their main, that's their thing. But what happens, obviously there is bad aliens out there, right? But I think there's a lot more good ones than bad ones. And it's madness. It truly is madness. We could have had a society today that could have been beautiful. You know, no more wars, no more pollution. But
And there's also a few other things that we have talked about before. Any advancements in human society, technological, scientific discoveries, anything that is determined that would be truly revolutionary is immediately suppressed. One example
That's
we've
right.
constantly given is that a bacteria was actually found that would prevent tooth decay.
yes, that's right.
Yeah. All they would have to do is put this on, never have to worry about brushing your teeth again.
Yep.
Easy as that.
There's been,
I remember that article coming out when I was in elementary school. I'm 25 now.
Look at the guy that invented a vehicle that could hover using a mercury sphere, right? The vehicle actually hovered. It was like a free form of power, right? It taken very little power, and I mean very little power, the size of a pencil battery, right? Would power it for a long time. That guy disappeared, and all the information belonging to that just disappeared. And look at the guy today that remember in the 80s, or you weren't born in the 80s, but somebody's in the chat. Well, there was a guy, they actually invented a car that ran on water. And everybody thinks that this is madness and it didn't happen, it didn't exist. It did happen, guys. See, the government, they've got the blueprints for that in a bunker somewhere deep below the earth.
Here's the thing.
He does a bit there.
The CIA has been found guilty under a lot of things. And this is the part that can likely end up with one of us dead under mysterious circumstances. The CIA was found guilty of assassinating Martin Luther King Jr. in a civil court trial. The CIA was found guilty of peddling drugs through South America and increasing their funding through such methods. It is those same connections that are widely believed that they utilized in order to pull off the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
The whole grassy knoll shooter.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Physics, anybody who's actually shot a gun, they say he was shot from behind. Why did his head jerk that way?
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
What I find most suspicious is that they actually brought in a military sharpshooter, right? A military sharpshooter that was an expert, right, in the field, that had actually killed people, right? This guy was like one of the top experts in sharpshooting in the world, right? And they says, right, we need you to kiddle in your that guy and pull off the shots. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. There was no way he couldn't do it. There was another shot, and there was that woman. Was there no that woman that something happened to her? What? There was a woman witness. Aye.
There was a woman. She had a bit of a scarf over her head. She was a photographer. She's been seen in several photos from the day of the JFK assassination. Just before the shot was taken, she is seen in a photo taking a picture towards the grassy knoll. No one knows where she is. Even if she was still alive after that, she's probably dead from old age.
That's the thing.
Nobody knows who she is.
There's Chess King brought something up actually quite interesting. It's that the technology advancements have come a long way since a short time. I don't believe that's from human engineering unless they've held it back. This is the thing, Chess, right? I got a new laptop. I'm using a new laptop right now. Right? This laptop's a couple of weeks old, right? This is old technology compared to what the government's got. The government, how can I say this? The government's technology that they're using right now is like 20 years advanced. More advanced. They've got satellites that could read a postage stamp in a field. Right? So can you imagine what they've got stashed away? Look at Nikola Tesla. Look at Donald Trump. I mean, his family. Nikola Tesla, all his stuff when he died. The FBI raided that place and they took absolutely everything. Why?
Tesla wanted to give it away for free.
It's shocking. It makes just think we've got all this now with electric cars, right? Which I think's not the best idea because the batteries cause a lot of pollution, right? But just think there's technology hidden somewhere, right? Where a box the size of a matchbox could probably power a car for 10 years. With no batteries. No pollution. No human waste to the fact that they're digging up fields and for lithium. See, this is the problem we're in. See, the government, if they wanted, within 10 years period, they could change the face of this earth. They could throw out windmills, they could throw out nuclear power stations, they could throw out electric cars, and everything would be amazing, right? But they'll not do that. For one thing, money. They won't do it. Too many rich people in the world. Yeah, exactly. Night Sky Paranormal. Go from A to G and miss out the money in the between.
Very true.
You think we'll bring up a subject here. The two towers. Well, no name the places where the planes flew into, right? Because it is a Kuwait thing, right? They also attacked the Pentagon, right? Do you know the day before that happened? There was, what was it, $500 trillion was missing, right? $500 trillion just went poof, right? They don't know where it went, right? The next day, a plane, well, a supposed plane, hit the building and took out that room where all the documents were stored. What's the odds in that? You see the world we live in, guys, it's controlled. When you go to Dakota, sorry.
No, I was just going to add on to it. Jet fuel doesn't burn hot enough to cause as much destruction as what happened that day.
No. The thing I don't get with that, and I will say this, yes, planes did hit the building, right? One came down and then the next one came down, right? But I will say this, what about the other building across the street from it that wasn't hit, that didn't have any broken windows, that wasn't on fire? You know the one I'm talking about, Dakota, didn't you? What was it building? What was it? I had a number. Was it building 11 or I can't remember. And it came down too perfectly. I mean, the buildings come down perfectly, guys. This is what people don't realise. They come down perfectly.
Here's the thing. There have been people who came out and said, yeah, I was there that day I was in those buildings, within, I believe it was a couple
Yeah.
weeks beforehand. Whether or not this is true, that's up for you all to speculate. But
That's
they noticed what looked like what kind of looked like remodeling crew. All right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's a building. Any building's gonna have to undergo some maintenance to keep it looking nice. Okay. That type of demolition. Okay, there's been buildings set by fire, struck by airplanes with even weaker construction materials. They're still standing, fully rebuilt. And as Chess here says,
the domino effect controlled, yes. I wouldn't
Exactly.
say that word, but that's,
that type
we're
of
just telling the information here, guys. We're no. You must understand this is your channel. We have to protect it, but we have to do it in a certain way that protects the channel. And I can't understand why that building collapsed. To this day, that building collapsing has not been explained. And I will say this: 3 days after this terrible event happened, right? The terrorist pilot that hit the building, his passport was found, what was it, about 2 blocks away, in perfect condition. Now come on, there was nothing left of the people that was in that plane. There was nothing. This passport was in perfect condition, guys. I mean, seriously. It was 3 blocks away. But everybody else and everything else in that plane was evaporated, right? Except for that guy's passport, obviously. The pilot. Oh, and he was a terrorist, obviously.
Here's the thing about that. There's a lot of people who try to say that, they're probably still alive under new names. And you know what? That's not outside their playbook. And this is stuff our espionage here in the US, in the UK, that's typical playbook stuff. The type of heat that would have been caused by that day for how bad it got, you would not find human remains.
No, that's the crazy thing.
What you would find at best, you ever seen pollen, real thick pollen coming off of trees? You would see what kind of looked like that, except a kind of a reddish pink color.
Yeah.
That's what you would see.
I actually knew somebody that worked in a crematorium, and he was telling me, it was actually on the internet, I met him on Facebook, I was talking to him about it, and he says to me, he said, what happened there, everything in that plane would have been incinerated, right? See when a crematorium burns a body, right, there's always something left over, right? There is always something. You got to remember the crematorium was hotter than that plane that hit, right? There was nothing left, guys, but there was a brand new passport with not one crease in it 3 blocks away. That was the pilot. Now bear this in mind, the front of the plane hits first. It's mad.
It is an interesting question.
What?
I just brought it up on the screen.
Oh, never seen it there. Question: do you think the attacks were alien in nature? I think it had something to do with them. I do think it had something to do with them. I don't think it was them, because I don't think that they would do something like that. Maybe the bad ones, I don't know, but the good ones would never. I think there was something. It was to bring war into place. Let's face this, guys. After that, we invaded Iraq. We invaded Afghanistan. Why did we want to invade their countries, guys? Why did we want to invade Iraq?
We want to go get those sons of bitches that attacked us. We want to show them what happens when you mess with America.
Yeah. Now, I think I've got two reasons I think why they went to Iraq first. Three reasons actually. The first was they wanted to take Iraq over for themselves. One, it was a perfect location for military bases, right? And they're still there. In the Iraq bases, the Americans are still there, right? And so are the British, and so are the French, and so on and so on. But Iraq was meant to have technology, ancient technology, buried in the deserts. Now you'll know what I'm talking about here, don't you? Mesopotamia, stuff like that, right? There was meant to be artifacts buried in the desert. Now Saddam Hussein knew that. Because there was actually a few times he actually flaunted the fact that he said, oh, we've got secret technology that's thousands of years old, right? Do you know after that happened, the US military went out into the deserts, they were seen going out into the deserts and digging stuff up. What's that? Was that bring the fear in the hearts of the people agenda? Exactly. The third thing they were over there for, oil. Do you know who owns a lot of the oil wells in Iraq?
The Saudis.
Aye, but who else? Who owns a couple of them that is making quite a lot of money off them? Oh, come on. You just done an impersonation of him there.
That wasn't initially supposed to be Bush, but okay.
Is it no Bush? Who was it meant to be then?
It was just a generic Southern accent.
Oh, but Bush is actually he owns oil wells in Iraq. And you go and look that up, guys. I'm serious. It's Afghanistan, I think, was for something else. I don't know. They were trying to play a power play. I think the ideas of invading Iran, and that's my honest truth, and that's just backfired totally, and they've just gave up in that.
You know, there's a couple bits about this. I want to go back real brief to that Ronald Reagan speech we mentioned earlier.
Yep.
The closest we'll be able to get humanity to unite is an alien threat.
Yes.
The quickest way to get someone to support the fact that, okay, obviously we don't want to go to war. We don't want our loved one to get sent overseas. We as the people. The president gets to enact gets so much more power when we're under a state of war. There's so many companies that make trillions even off of the production of weapons of war.
Yeah.
And they don't pay to bring that back. They literally, and this whole spiel about Biden leaving weapons and all that stuff for the Taliban in Afghanistan, that's not the first time something like that's happened.
Let me throw something in here. You'll like this. The Vietnam War. I'm going to mention three names here, and I know that you know what I'm going to talk about. The Vietnam War, the President, and the Bell Helicopter Company. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that company made billions off that war? Off the Bell helicopters. Do you know on the way home after the Vietnam War, they dumped nearly every one of them into the sea?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Look that up, guys. The Bell Helicopter Company and the Vietnam War. And that's what it's all meant to have been about.
And look here, Nat, she's making a little side note here about the Taliban. There's a couple things not a lot of people actually realize here.
Mm-hmm.
It is cheaper for militaries of the world to just make more guns.
Yes.
Than try to ship everything back home. Number one. Number two, the Taliban, Al Qaeda, ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
You look far enough back, it's the American governments that trained them in order to fight the Russians.
Yeah. The American CIA sent soldiers in to train the Taliban to fight the Russians. And then after the Russians, it backfired on us.
Oh yeah, there's actually a term in documents called blowback, which literally means how likely is this going to fuck us up if it goes wrong. And here's another thing. Area 51. Everybody wants to go in there for alien technology, all
There's
that.
nothing there now. There's nothing.
No. Let me finish. That's where they train insurgents in other countries, in bases like Area 51.
Yeah. Crazy, innit?
Like,
It's
ooh.
it's all tied in, guys. It's all tied in to the UFOs. It's all tied into the aliens. They don't want a friendly extraterrestrial race to come here for the simple reason is they know they're going to free everyone from pollution, from diseases, and from war. They don't want that. They want to control the world. What's your take on what's that? The holographic invasion coming soon. I read they could stage it. I seen something about that. What is it? Is that with the fake alien invasion or something like that?
That's one of the conspiracy ties that are going around, and you got to. Here's the thing. Yes, there's holographic technology that is that sophisticated. The stuff that we have now that anybody can get their hands on. If you want to, let's take that concert a few years back where they did a holographic Tupac.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
You realize how much glass and fog that they had to produce on that part of the stage in order to make that effect look so realistic.
A lot.
There are several. There's a more sophisticated projections out there for something like this. And I also seen a little conversation about necrophonics and possible ET communications. I know I want to put this in here because there's a lot of speculation that further research into Project Blue Book may actually enhance further communications, and I actually have something that I'm trying to put together myself.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, and I know Sherry's in here.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Very careful.
The incident that we had with Sherry on here, I've seen a couple people automatically assume demon. No. The incident that happened with Sherry was a warning.
Yes.
So be careful if you try that. Because something is coming. And based on the information we have, they're getting closer.
Here's an interesting name that I'm going to bring up because we've got, 10 minutes left. Elon Musk. What do you think of him, Dakota? I mean, he put this, is it Starlink satellites up there? I think that's got something to do with this. See this fake alien invasion? Because when you look at them going through the sky, it's like they're all sitting next to each other. It's like a grid pattern. I mean, think about it, guys. If they've got technology that's 20 years more advanced than what you're using right now, more advanced than the latest iPhone. Think about this, guys. The government's actually come out and said, we have satellites that could take a picture of a stamp in a field and read it, the date on it.
Here's another thing that's been also mentioned. Lockheed Skunk Works is one of the main contractors for aviation with the United States Air Force. It's also believed to be one of the main companies that they run UFO-esque craft through.
Yeah.
Okay? The main CEO of Lockheed Skunk Works, this was in a documentary by Dr. Stephen Greer,
That's right.
even joked that we now have the technology to take ET home.
Yes, and you've got to remember too, the CIA, they're actually using back-engineered UFO craft to make people think the aliens are coming. You think about it, it's called reverse psychology. That's what they're doing.
The reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering. Aye, but they're using what I'm trying to say is that they're taking their reverse engineered spaceship, right? And they're deliberately making people see this. And then people go, oh my god, the aliens are coming, and they'll put pictures up. Oh, and they're coming to this and they're coming to do that. But all this time it's no the aliens. I would say, how many percentage would you say are actually alien and are back engineered?
Legitimate UFO sightings,
Yeah.
you would have to say at least Not even a full 1%.
Nah. So, most of the UFOs you're seeing, guys, are back engineered. Some of them, I would say some of them, I've seen a few, and I think they were. See, how can you tell the difference? So that's the problem. I've heard that Dr. Stephen Greer talking about the UFOs that come, right, are like all shiny and they've got no like doors, no windows, and they're just perfect, right? Whereas the back engineered stuff has got bolts and you can actually see it. I mean, what's the one they've got the one that actually Elena was talking about a couple of weeks ago? It doesn't go very far. They use it. I can't remember, guys in the chat. What's the name of the famous UFO that the American government use? And
What was that?
It's got a name, and you can clearly tell it's been bolted together. That is they do use it as psychology. They do. You think about it.
No. Here's the thing.
They do.
All you have to do is look at how easy it is for people to want to start killing each other, blaming each other for stupid shit on social media. One person maybe makes a little bit more subscribers than another. One person, believes that another person is associated with one person's death. Yes, these are specific examples of what I've seen recently. Quite frankly, it's disgusting behavior, but it's a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA are the ones who coined the term conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
To draw
doubt
to anybody who questioned what they were doing. And
they
they realized, and anybody who's dealt with marketing can back me up on this, it does not take much to turn the population into a bunch of chumps.
Yep, exactly. It's pre-programming. It's like all the computer games out the news get aliens attacking. You go to the shop for like candy and you get alien bars or alien chips or alien this or alien that, and you see it in TV and the aliens. It's always the aliens are coming to kill us, right? They're coming to kill us. They're probably sitting up there right now, guys. They're probably sitting in their ships up there and thinking, "My God, what did we do? We shouldn't even show ourselves." They're like they're waiting to come, I think, but they have to wait till the population's ready. I think it's too early for them to come now. It's too early. It is too early.
Just like Elena said, slowly more and more people are waking up.
Yes.
And there's going to be more individual disclosure, in which they even mention this to us. And I know there's probably going to be a couple people that like watching us in order to try to dig up information, in order to spike up previous arguments, into which I like to say that. But they admit that they want people to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And the movie Paul made a little remark about it.
That's a good movie.
It's a comedy. It's with Simon Pegg. It's supposed to be goofy, but it makes a very valid point. Where they literally say in the movie that in the 1940s, they slowly started drip feeding the image of ETs so that maybe one day, if the species do meet, we don't freak out. Well, I believe the exact wording was a fucking spaz attack, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the hour, Dakota, do you want to tell them about the special thing we've got planned, plus that trailer for Nat in the chat?
Oh, yes.
Play the trailer first.
We have been meaning to show you a trailer that our lovely Nat, for a book that she has put together, we've been meaning to share, but obviously, if you've been paying attention to the show, too much weird shit's been going on for us to focus.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring that out now, because she actually has a book coming out this Friday. You can actually get it on pre-order through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, I believe Kobo, which is ebook website, has it. Trust me, she has been stalking me, hoping that I find more links. But in the time I've gotten to know her and help her out with this book, I do consider her a dear friend. So I figured I'd try to help put some of my skills to use in order to bring this together. We're going to try to open it up here.
Bringeth forth.
I don't know what is real anymore. Who are my family? Do they love me? Are my friends real? Is school real? What is real anymore? What is life? And what is going on with that weird guy from school?
Scary.
Available November 19th, wherever books may be sold.
Brilliant trailer, by the way. Well done.
Thank you.
What was the
Thank
other
you.
thing?
Well,
What was the
before
other
we-
thing?
before we move on to that, we do need to make a little disclaimer. The book focuses on some very dark subjects that really do affect Americans today, mental illness, as well as the situation involving gun violence in schools. So, that's a little disclaimer. The book is called Beautiful Curse. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I see people already, asking for a link. So give me just 2 seconds.
Well, you do that. I'm just going to point out Drew. Drew's got a channel. Drew's Paranormal Vlog in the chat there. She's doing something. What is it? It's a special show for helping people, depressed and stuff like that. So could you please check out Drew's Paranormal Vlog? She's doing something special. And Sherry's doing her live tonight, I think. So could you check her out there? There you go.
Yes, do go check them out. Very dear friends of ours. Link is in the description for Nat's book. If it helps, I did a lot of the editing and the designing. You can also type my name in. It will come up out under me as well.
There you go.
So, shall we go on to the more exciting,
Yes, we will.
a couple more exciting bits? All right.
Yep.
So, obviously, as we grow as a channel, we are going to want to expand more, maybe try to get it to where we can make this our main source of income so we can leave our fucking day jobs, which personal hope for me, but I do it for fun, but if I can pull it off, that'd be awesome.
It's fun.
So
It's fun.
we've started setting things up to make things more official. Trying to get everything loaded up right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Technology always starts crapping out the second you really need it, doesn't it?
I was just clicking the link there for Nat's book. So guys, please check out Nat book.
All right. We'll just go ahead and bring this up here. This is a page on my website I set up for Bald and Bonkers. I'm going to post a link in the chat right now. You can listen to the latest episodes of the podcast. If you decide to leave us a nice little comment on one of our videos, you may get featured in the testimonials here. And you can also, that's not what I wanted. We have also set up a place where if you want to become a guest, here's your chance.
Yes. Sign up.
Yes. All you got to do is just put in your information. We'll get a hold of you as soon as we can. And as always, we do have the flow code here,
Yeah.
so you can get all of our links. Because we are coming to Patreon.
We are. Of course, we're nearly at 1,000 subscribers today, which is amazing. It's fairly growing, the channel.
Yes, we are almost to the point.
I think we're about 46 subscribers
Well,
off
we're going to get
1,000.
some. We're almost to the point where we can get a few more tools to play with. Now, obviously, we haven't done a lot to set this up, but there's special perks. You can get access. We're talking about doing like a behind-the-scenes show exclusively on Patreon, so you can see how really wacky we are when we don't have any censors on us.
Yes, exactly.
And we're also looking into merchandise designs.
Yep.
And if you subscribe to Patreon, you may actually be able to get access to exclusive merch that no one else can get.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think good things are coming, you know.
Oh yes.
And hopefully we can do some good stuff for the subscribers too. And I see where people sign up to want to come on the show. The people that come on the shows, we will advertise your channels for you too. So help
Of course.
your channel grow. Help your channel grow, because there's a lot of good people in the chat there that deserve a subscribe. You know, it's been a lovely night tonight, hasn't it? It's been really good tonight.
Yes,
Looking
that
forward
was
to
a
Saturday.
pretty good show. Yes.
We've
And
got.
who do
Is
we
it
have on for the Saturday there, Chris?
I think it's. Let me look at my calendar. See, I'm more professional now. I've got a calendar. See, I think I know who it
Believe
is.
how much I had to smack this into him?
Terrible. We have Sheriff Buford T. Justice, and we have Drew's Ellingsworth, his channel, Living History Comes Alive, and they're coming on to talk about the Civil War spirits. So that will be an amazing live that night. So guys, thank you for coming. See you all in the spaceship above.
We'll see you all next time.
Catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Stay safe. Stay weird. And, happy holidays. Be kind to one another.
Exactly.
This crap at hating at each other online is bullshit.
Yeah.
So